First card out is Strength. There's a lot of strong people in your life right now that want the best for you and that are here to support you and that really just see the best in you. For some of you, you guys know this and you're just really grateful. And for some of you guys, you might not know that that is what they're here to do and why they're pushing you to the point that they are. Some of you guys just need to start with some basic stuff. Like with what we're doing right now, we're going to start with just cleaning. Some of you guys have an air that is thick within the home and it needs to be cleared. So go ahead and just open up your windows right now. We can do this together. We can all just start by getting some fresh air. And let's clear the air tonight in your house. And if there's anything that needs to be cleaned, you can just move your stuff to wherever we go. And just do what we do as we do it. And I do just want to say that to me, we'll just see what happens. No, it doesn't matter. Oh, man. It's got to be a journey for me because I'm supposed to be getting better. Period. Like, basically, my family's told me straight up, like, they're done with my shit. And, scared for what? I'm scared for what? Because that was gonna require me to fucking be better. Like, do it, bitch. You know what I mean? Okay. So, the next thing that I see out is pen and paper. Is the next thing that I start right now. And it just made me think that some of y'all need to be taking, like writing down, I heard take notes. So whether or not you are in a class, like it's very important that you guys take those notes so that you can make sure to retain knowledge that I hear you might miss. Some of you guys think that you can listen just fine, but you need to actually bring a pen and paper with you because you're going to end up jotting out a lot more things and well, something in what you would have forgotten to write down. You know, if you're going to hear an idea here and you would have forgotten that idea had you not write it down. And I also hear that for some of you guys, you need to actually like write down a to-do list because you don't really know exactly what you're going to do, and you need to start with what you can do. So anything, just like with the kitchen, to start. And you really do need to sanitize the germs in your home. You got to get it cleaned up. A lot of the stuff that you need to do starts with what you already can do, and like you'd always be working towards different projects, but some of you guys think, oh, well, I have to do all these things to get to that place. Sure, you do. So do it. So start tomorrow by putting yourself, like if you are somebody who's looking for housing of some sort, there might be a waiting list. So you might look and say, oh, well, that waiting list is 9 months long. Okay, put your name on it right now. Why are you waiting until... Don't look at it like it's a long wait. Just get it done and put your name on the list. And then at some certain time down the road, you will find yourself getting in that call out of nowhere on God's timing. And you'll just realize how everything works out when you have faith. And you just do it. If there's a list, who cares? Put your name on it. When you do cleaning, guys, just so you know, spray. Screw your counters first. What'd you see? You see something? I miss my brother, man. I'm so fucking glad he didn't fucking die, dude. I would have died, dude. Oh my gosh. Fuck, dude. It's a nice man. Yeah, guys, dude, people fucking, we gotta start fucking, we gotta do something different. Alright, so I don't give a fuck. My mom would get pissed if I do dishes this way. She really hates it. She wants me to fill the fucking sink up with water, but I love you, Mom. So yeah, don't procrastinate. So tonight, write down 5 things on the list. You can do more if you want. I like it. It doesn't really matter. You can do a big list, you can do a small list. You can organize it very strictly. You can have fun with it. I pretty much just do it all. I'll write down like, the kitchen, the laundry. You know, check the mail, send this out. Oh my gosh, you know, things like that. And you'll find that, you know, you should have crossed off several things off, like even if it was just do those basic things, you know. You could even say calling your mom or calling your dad is on anything. They could say sorry for that thing that you did. Anything that's on your mind, you know, it doesn't matter. You should get in the habit of having fun with it. It's kind of fun just putting in the small things on the list. Even if you just see the toilet paper roll needs changing, you can put that on the list so you still get to cross it off. It can be anything, you guys. It's just whatever you see around the house, you know, put it on the list. Next thing I see is palm olive. So, with palm, I think about prayer. I just think about my hands are reaching out to you. I do believe that everything that we need is here. And we need to practice more mindfulness, gratitude, be grateful for what you have. And start taking it a lot more seriously. Like last night, there was a lot of things that happened that I just acted on the moment of. I still do. I'm not thinking about the long-term effects that it could have. I'm not really thinking about the people that are also involved and how they could react. I'm just thinking I can talk and do whatever I want. Some of you guys need to reach out and grab the hand of help that is being offered to you right here. And there is a hand in front of you that you may be able to see or that you may have already received. That you're aware of what is. So that person that's just been kind of like saying, hey, what are you doing? You know, you don't need to be doing that. It's that person you need to return to and you need to accept the direction of change that they're up. You need to make sure that you're staying hydrated. Water is very, very, very important. Your organs, everything depends on one. They need water. And some of us are just not eating right. We're not feeling right. And we're not thinking right. And it's just like, it's wearing our fucking body down. Some people are worried about how they're starting to age. But it's their internal that's aging them. It's their lifestyle. Hi guys, what you doing? It's their lifestyle. And, you know, basically, feel like the things that we work so hard to maintain in our life, to keep, they're the things that are killing us fastest. And really all we're doing is just fucking running around in circles with a chicken with its head cut off. Trying to just fucking, it's just a joke, really. It's like a hamster in a cage. It's fucking cuckoo, you know what I mean? That's what it feels like. And it's like, I don't know. It's like almost like, we think we're actually fucking doing something. We think we're actually going somewhere. And sometimes when you have those realizations that you just straight up gotta surrender, man. Just hits you all of a sudden that you were just doinking around. Playing outside in the yard, you know what I mean, for years. You know, whatever it was. And at that point, things change for you. I see Lysol next. And when I saw it, I just saw the yellow, which made me think about life. Lysol and life. What a bright sunny day, you know? Man, I miss my brother. Hope he's fine. Colton's just a great guy. My brother's amazing. You know, one time when we were little, I was just telling my mom that, you know. I asked him what he wanted to be, you know, when you grow up, and we were young. And I just remember his face. And I thought about it. I don't really know. That day, I just pictured him having a truck and just being proud of the job that he had and having a truck. I don't know. I just saw my brother with a truck, big old truck, you know, and him smiling and just making that money and just, I don't know. He was a simple man, you know, with a truck. Just a big old smile on his face and healthy and that's what I want for him. That's what I want for all of you guys. That maybe if you want a car, you can get a car. But you ain't coming to Washington on no car and getting around. Unless you get a Subaru. And that's when I realized I needed a Subaru. But yeah. So who knows what's going to happen exactly. What I do know is that basically you guys know me really well. And I ain't getting away with shit. Not everybody, nowhere. You guys are fucking amazing little fuckers. And you keep calling me out on my dumbass bullshit, and I'm getting real fucking... I'm getting okay with it. I'd rather be honest and accountable. I'm a fucking lunatic. And lunatics are good people too. And I don't know. That's why I always say, oh, I need a leader. You know, I need a leader. I just want to be taught how to act right, and I don't really listen to what I want. And Tara needs to stop. Next thing I see is these things. Some of you are going to get locked up. I hope it's not me. Oh, hell no. Man, that's freaky shit. No! Alright, sorry, I got scared of the cops. I didn't do nothing. Hell no. Alright, well, it is what it is. Move forward, you know, if it happens, fucking, that's all you can do. Straight fucking just deal with it, dude. Roll the punches, and I want you to know, just like with anything when it's with addiction, crime, fuck, dude. You have to fucking deal with what it's fucking hit or miss, man. It's hard to tell. What the fuck's gonna happen? Shit, sometimes you really do get out. Sometimes you fucking... Shit, you get charged for fucking shit you didn't do. I mean, there is no fucking, like, absolute outcome when it comes to the fucking system. And it doesn't matter what system you're working with. It could be a fucking PS4 system, but anything with a fucking system, it can have any outcome. You buy something brand fucking new. Shit not even work. So, be prepared for anything at this time. Do not assume anything. Don't. You just know that it could be anywhere. This is going to be a year-long process for all of us. I believe that it takes a year to really kind of get in the swing of things. You're not supposed to really date for a year. I've already kind of not dating for 3.5 years, but I'll do whatever today. But it's for the purpose of basically like not getting distracted. Because when you're working on yourself, in recovery or on any emotional thing, and let's just say you're just fucking supposed to be studying on something specific like codependency or toxic traits or, you know, anything. It could be, you're always going to be studying on something that you are needing to work on during that time. And so not only are you going to just start, like, if you're in a relationship sometimes and you're going to fight, you better be like, oh, she's, you know, that person has got toxic traits. yeah, that's great and everything, but now you're kind of like looking outwardly instead of inwardly. And also, like, if this person's having a stressful day, or you guys are gonna fight, is very distracting to focus when you're locked anywhere, even at work, here, out. It's like when you're fighting with somebody at all, you get concentrated on that shit very good. And that's what you're not needing. They don't want you to get caught up, because if you could actually learn to spend alone time without distractions, then you will be able to actually clear your mind and actually figure out what's going on. But a lot of us are just switching out one habit for the next. I was clean for 7 years off one drug, but then I fucking was addicted to fucking making money and working, and I've always had that problem. What was my addiction during that time? I don't know. I think my lesson when I was clean for 7 years was that what I did wrong during that chapter was I worked for a boss who was an addict, and I also dated a man who was an addict. And I never cut ties with that part. I did everything right. I went to school and got a house, and I was a great mom. I went to church even on every Sunday for 7 years. I loved it. Well, I mean, I loved my part of it, but I still wasn't happy. Ultimately, I still wanted to, I was like working towards something, And I was, during my career as a teacher, honestly, I wanted more too. And I did apply for my favorite, I applied for jazz, which is where I wanted to work. I really admired how much effort they put into their employees and how much training, and I wanted to work for jazz. So I went and applied. And I got the job. And in order to take that job, I would have had to take a $4 an hour pay cut, but I believed in it because I was learning from great leaders. And I loved Martin. I was already manager of the school, and I guess I'd kind of seen, in a way, Martin needing me more than I was going to need him. And I didn't mind being there, but I knew that I wanted to still get more out of my career and, be more. But Martin told me, please don't go like every other boss. And I stayed because I loved him and I love my students. And he basically just told me that right now it just wasn't a good time. So I started out saying, in my head I thought, it's not saying that I'm not going to leave later, but I respect my leader. Oh, I don't know, and shortly after that, he hung himself, and I found him, and I had a huge rebirth, and I went through a major dark night of the soul during that. It was horrible for me. It was very, very affected negatively. But I realized that part of my life, that chapter, it was to help me realize that it's 11:11. I love you guys. That part of my chapter was a lesson for me to get to understand suicide. Be able to release tangible items. I took off to Alaska and I left this house and I left everybody for a few years. I came back and forth and paid my bills, and I just would visit, and I had to go back out on the boat for another 3-4 months, and I'd just come back for a month and I'd go back out there, and then I let go of Zeke and Martin out there on that boat, and I let go of the tangible stuff. Because you can only take one duffel bag. And I realized in that chapter that even if you're clean and you're the perfect housewife for 7 years, you could still be dating a piece of shit, working for a piece of shit. You could be the greatest thing in the world, but you gotta be aware of your surroundings so that you don't end up learning and taking on energy from these people. Had I continued to work for Martin, maybe he would have taught me that invisible trait that he had, suicide. What if by the end of his training me, I would end up offing myself too? It's a blessing, honestly, that I worked for him, and a blessing, honestly, that I found him. I wouldn't have wanted anybody else to go through what I went through. But I just know that I love you. I forgot what I was going to say. But everything works out for a reason, and I was going to say,
I know that that part of my life was for me to learn that even if you're doing great, if you have people around you that are being butts, they can bring you down, slow you down, or even completely hinder your life path. They can teach you the things that they know, but they might be the wrong thing. And we get a lot of warnings from the universe saying, hey, this person's not acting right. Hey, this seems weird. This is out of your alignment. This is not okay with you. This is blah, blah, blah. And you all just, you're like, weirdo. Or you get frustrated for a long time where you're like, I can't fucking stand this person. Like, we say a lot of things, but we don't act out. You don't do something about it. And just know that the minute that you see that red flag and you stick by what it is, from that point on, you're going to be off path. And the way I see it is, it's like hiking on a trail. And then you see a part of the trail that looks kind of interesting over here. So you're like, let's go see what's over there. And you go a little farther and you're a little farther. And next thing you know, you might be deeper and deeper. And whether you're on the trail or off the trail, we've all, if you're a hiker, you've done long fucking hikes. And there's plenty of times when you're looking around on that hike and it's a, the terrain's a little bit, it's a little bit dangerous looking or just like sketchy looking. But as a real adventure, it keeps going. And there's even people that are on that hike that don't really even want to fucking be there. And basically, it even starts raining. Shit, sometimes you get blisters. Sometimes you're hungry. You're just like, I don't want to be on this hike anymore. Whatever it is, dude, you still have to turn around and hike that far back. I always keep that in my mind. I'm the hiker at the front of the trail ever since I was a little girl. My dad say, Tara, slow down, Tara, don't get too far ahead. There's animals up there. I've always loved hiking, dude. I fucking goes deep as fuck. But I do keep in mind, like, even with myself, like, hey, like, you're just this many miles in, so even though you may not be as tired right now, you gotta fucking double that on the way back. And I'm pretty aware of that. I always try to warn people, hey, we're going on a fucking steep hill, dude. Like, it's gonna take a lot of, and I'm just aware of that. And so it's like, I just think of life kind of similar. It's like math too, my teacher. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Mr. Monson, love you. And I love Mr. Moffat. You guys are the best. Mr. Moffat is so funny. He was my 4th grade history teacher. He said, man, fucking my wife, he didn't say fucking, but he said his wife shaved her legs with this razor. That when he went to shave his face, that it made him break out with the razor bump. So I learned in 4th grade not to do that, and I didn't even have a boyfriend yet. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, shit, I love you guys. You're amazing. And I love you. I'll talk to you soon, okay?